Hi there. In the last Direct, you said that you're cautious with leaks because you don't want to generate too much hype. Also, you acknowledged several times that future AMD GPUs are always hyped up way too much. However, whenever you're talking about RDNA 5, you're always talking about it in high regard and with huge expectations. Do you know more than we do? Blink twice if you do, or say blink, blink for us podcast listeners, exclamation point. Well, that's an interesting question. I think the point is that whenever you're assessing rumors, that you attach a certain level of credibility to them based on the source, right? And I think the reason why we're kind of excited about RDNA 5 is that, well, first of all, the likes of Sony and Microsoft have kind of like bet the next generation of their gaming hardware on RDNA 5, right? That's a considerable bet to make for these guys. And I think that's, a good indication it's going to be pretty good stuff, right? Secondly, in terms of RDNA 5, we've just had the video, the Project Amethyst update, where Mark Cerny is talking about the future of gaming technology. And kind of like everything we wanted to hear was in it, in terms of like the future of rendering features, the importance of machine learning. We kind of know that they're on the right track. And then there's the sort of various silicon leaks that have come from reputable sources, which check out, right? And the concept that Sony is going to be doing a handheld potentially based on this technology, it kind of all aligns with something that maybe is quite exciting. How that will translate into desktop graphics parts remains to be seen, of course, but it does seem that those foundational building blocks are there for something that is definitely on the right track and forward-looking in the right ways. Oliver, do you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with all of those elements, especially the fact that RDNA 5 is obviously the IP that Microsoft and Sony have picked. That probably indicates some high degree of confidence. Indeed, with like RDNA 2, you saw ray tracing features brought into that architecture. It was quite a good architecture. I think that'll be like triply or quintuply or whatever. So for RDNA 5, based on the leaks and the rumors about it, indeed based on that Project Amethyst comparison there. I also just think like insiders like Kepler L2, various leaks that are floating around, like no one is saying, don't expect much from RDNA 5. Everyone is saying expect the world from RDNA 5. So there is really high expectations with RDNA 5. There's no kind of sense that RDNA 5 is just going to be an iterative step up in terms of the architecture. It couldn't really be an iterative step up based off what has been disclosed publicly about the architecture anyways. It's fundamentally very different in terms of the way that it approaches machine learning acceleration, in terms of the way that it approaches RT acceleration. And it's really designed, I think, not just to handle like the current crop of games that might have some amount of ray tracing that's sort of RDNA2 friendly, plus maybe throw in an FSR4 or something, but it's really designed for like big path tracing games with elaborate micropolygon systems and things like this. The kinds of games that we expect to see in the 2030s, that those are the kinds of games that are going to thrive in this architecture, presumably, at least if Sony and Microsoft have picked the right horse and if AMD has delivered the right product, and I expect that will be the case.